Hey everybody, I'm going to be reviewing Slash's new album, and it's actually my first album review. His new album is called World on Fire. It's actually his third solo album. It's his second album with Myles Kennedy and the Conspirators. And, I'm a big Slash fan. I loved everything starting from Guns N' Roses up to Velvet Revolver, up to even his first solo album where he had a bunch of different artists. And, I liked some of the songs on Apocalyptic Love. There was a couple songs like Anastasia, which was really good. I think there's one called Bad Rain, which was another really good song. And I feel like the new album really sort of continues where the last album left off. First and foremost, it's a lot longer than the last album. I think there's 17 songs on this album, and there's a much better variety of songs compared to the last release. The last album, Apocalyptic Love, was really a hard rock album. There wasn't really any ballads on the album. From what I remember, this new album does have some ballads thrown in, some slower songs, which, believe it or not, are actually some of my favorite songs on the album. I think they really show everything that we love about Slash's guitar playing from when we first fell in love with him in Guns N' Roses. There's a lot of songs that show that emotional guitar playing and that melodic guitar playing that he does have, as well as Myles' slower kind of vocals that we've seen in songs like Starlight from Slash's first album. So the album starts out with a song called World on Fire, which is actually the first single that's been released. And World on Fire, I feel the exact same way like I did about You're Alive from Apocalyptic Love. It's okay. It's nothing great. It's got fast guitars. It's got Myles' vocals, which we're all familiar with if this isn't your first time listening to Slash and Myles Kennedy. But I really think that Slash sometimes doesn't choose the best singles, at least to promote the album. There's a lot better songs on this album than that. And I'd say probably out of the 17 songs, I would probably say that there's maybe 6 or 7 that I actually liked overall. And really one of my favorite songs that you're going to the first songs that I really liked on the album was a song called Shadow Play. I believe it's the second or third song on the album. It's got great guitar riffs, and I find that with the whole album, the instrumentals are great. I feel like the weakest link in a lot of the album is Myles' voice. That's not to say he's not a great singer. I really do think he's a great singer, but I just feel like sometimes Slash could have had a better vocalist, singing over these instrumental tracks. But Shadow Play is a really good song. It's got really cool guitar solo to it. It's it's not one of the slower songs I was talking about, but it's one of the heavier songs on the album. It's got this really cool bass drum. I almost was questioning, like, is that double bass? But it was probably one of the first songs I really enjoyed on the album. Probably my favorite song, or tied for my favorite, is a song called Wicked Stone. It's another really hard rocking song. I know it's a lot of people's favorites looking at the message boards. I think it's one of the best songs, and I'm really looking forward to it if I go see Slash live and he does play one of those songs. I really hope he plays that song live. Now, one of my favorite songs off the album, along with Wicked Stone, is a song called Battleground. It's a much slower song. It clocks in around 7 minutes. It's a much more relaxed song, but it's got that awesome emotional guitar playing that we've come to know Slash for. And it's probably my favorite song off the album. It'll be interesting to see if they actually play it live or whether it does get released as a single. I think another really good song off the album, something that's really interesting on this album, is that there's actually an instrumental track. It's kind of like Watch This, the one that he did with Dave Grohl and Duff McKagan from his first solo album. There's a song called Safari, and it's the second last song on the album, and it's actually a really interesting song. And I know Slash has done interviews where he said they actually sort of wrote it in a way that they can, when they play it live, they can actually extend it to maybe being a 5 or 6 minute long song. But it was an interesting song, I guess, an interesting instrumental track. And it's probably one of the better tracks on this album. And I think one of my other favorite tracks off the album is a song called Bent to Fly. I think it's the second single being released. It's a really good song. It's another hard rocking song. But I think overall, those are probably my 4 or 5 favorite songs off the album. I think overall it's a decent album. It's sort of, if you like Apocalyptic Love, you're probably going to like this album just as much. It's got a little more variation on it. But if you're expecting, to hear Guns N' Roses, you're going to be disappointed. But I think overall I'd probably give the album, maybe 3 out of 5. It's a solid album. I've listened to it quite a few times. I feel like I like Apocalyptic Love a little bit more, maybe because those songs are a little more familiar to me. I still have to let some of these songs grow on me. But there are some similarities that I've noticed, like some of the guitar riffs to certain songs sound like, there's one song that sounds like Anastasia, at least the intro to it. And I know there's another song where the drums in the beginning sound a little bit like Paradise City. So I have picked up on some of this stuff, and I don't know anything really much about, you know, music and music theory, but there are some similarities I've seen from, you know, his last album and even some of the Guns N' Roses stuff. But I think overall, I think it's a solid album. I hope that maybe Slash does something new with his next album. Maybe he doesn't work with Myles and goes somewhere else. I really think that his guitar playing is awesome on this album. I just feel like some of the lyrics and the melodies are not necessarily the best or as good as they could have been if Slash would have went and worked with somebody else. So I probably give this album 3 out of 5. So that does it for this week. Hit subscribe below because I've got tons of more album reviews coming up. Thanks, guys.